Organized a small survey asking people whether we should tell children fairy tales in order to conserve their innocence or whether we should tell them realistic stories to prepare them for the future. Surprisingly, we got a lot of different answers, and we would like to share some of the best ones with you. We asked two adults and some other teenagers, and in the end, we totaled everything up in a nice graph so you guys can see um, which majority ruled. Hope you guys enjoy this video. See you soon.
I think we should tell children realistic stories to prepare them for the real world, but not too real for them to scare them off. Just enough for them to know what the real world is like.
This is B-Boy Crafty, chilling. My bad, I just woke up and stuff, but yeah. The question was, should we tell children fairy tales or tell them realistic stories? My feel is that you should tell children fairy tales, but not abusing. Make it as realistic as possible, because I feel they're too young they're actually really young for them to be in that position to think about life at that time. It's supposed to be all happy and colorful and joyful for them. That's why we've been blessed to have cartoons and all those stuff to be watched and actually imagine being creative about our stuff. And I feel fairy tales are really nice because we're able to dream and actually imagine being creative about our stuff. And I feel fairy tales are really nice because we're able to dream. But realistic stories is like just they just want you to believe like, okay, this is one, two, three. But like for fairy tale stories, you can just go beyond imagine. You can like the sky isn't the limit. You can go beyond that, and that's what I think the world needs, to go beyond that. Because if we were not all dreamers, and if we were not taught to have fairy tales, then basically we will just be straightforward and actually really boring, in my opinion. Peace out, Bieber Crafty.
I believe that a child should be told and taught about how harsh reality is and how cruel the world we live in could be, because that only prepares them mentally and physically and helps them overcome the challenges that they'll be facing as they grow older. But at the same time, I think they should be given that opportunity to believe in true love and happy endings, because we all search for that and we all want that. So why should we take away those thoughts from a little child? But yeah, teaching a kid about reality is much better than letting them believe in fairy tales and giving them false hope about the future.
So this is my auntie Anna, and she's gonna tell me her opinion about the question from the story. So, what do you think about telling a story to your children? Should it be realistic or should it only focus on the good things?
Okay, I believe that as as parents, we should teach our children the good and bad. So telling a story is a good way to do it. Sometimes life is difficult, and for them to understand that life is difficult, we cannot explain to them as we do to an adult. So the only way to do it is through a story. Of course, there's times we can tell them stories that everything is going well, but also to tell them in a story how is life, how they have to react to special occasions, that life is not easy, and that's a good way to do it. So I believe you should do both.
This is my friend Anton. Okay. And I'm gonna tell him the same question. So, what do you think about telling a story to your children? Should it be realistic or should it only focus on the good things?
Well, if there is more children, it's good to be like fantastic history. like fairy tales, all this kind of history of superheroes, because they don't know the reality. We cannot expose them to too much hard reality. If they are teenagers or a little bit older, you can tell all the reality of life. But for the children, it's good to tell very fantastic story, good story about princes and principes, all this kind of stuff.
So you think telling the real stuff to the small children is bad or good?
It's not got being bad or good, but it's a little bit difficult for them to understand all the reality. For us, it's easy, but for them, because they see everything in their fantastic world, not in the reality as we see as adults.
Okay.
Asking a couple of my colleagues whether they preferred stories with good morals, which were unrealistic, or stories that were realistic.
Okay, guys, so I think from what we just saw, we can concur that most people agree with the fact that kids need that kind of innocence in their life. Personally, I believe the kids need some balance. You also need to keep their innocence, but at the same time, you need to also get them prepared for what's coming because we all know what's coming is not exactly fairy tales. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you soon. Peace out.